Hello, Tashdilek. Today I'm going to talk about a good teacher. When I speak about a good teacher, I think everyone has their own perspective. And if you look at the religious scriptures, they have their own explanations. I'm going to speak my point of view. As a teacher, I think, teacher must have a good motivation and good intention and teacher those uh, who wants other people to know you as a great scholar, and you are so attracted towards money or attracted towards the material offering, and also you want to bring other people's under your own influence. So that kind of motivation is not nice. That kind of motivation is polluted. When I speak about the motivation, I mean, teacher should be a compassionate and kindness. When teacher teach to the students, uh, teacher uh, uh, a teacher must have intention uh, to teach their to students uh, mm, to make them uh, a, uh, a deeper understandings and clarities, like that. Uh, and another thing is that teacher must have academic excellence. So when I talk about the academic excellence, there are so many points to be discussed. I'm going to give an example. And there is a Tibetan traditional way of speaking. They have given an analogies. Teachers should not teach their students uh, like an old man eating, or teachers should not teach their students like how crows build their nest. Uh, if you look at the old man eating, old man, they chew soft food, but they are not able to bite the hard one. So similarly, some teachers, they are touching to the simple points, but they are not able to address the difficult one. So this should not happen. Then, when I gave an analogy of how the crow builds a nest, if you look at the crow's nest, it is so chaotic. There is no any systematic order. Uh, Similarly, when teacher teaches to the students, teachers should be well prepared. At the same time, teacher uh, uh, teach to the students in a systematic presentations. So that will be a benefit for students, And one thing I want to say that, as a Buddhist practitioner, I feel that, many of teacher I have noticed that, they are not giving importance, they are not giving respect to their own knowledge and their own subject, whatever they are going to teach to the students. I think, according to the Buddhist perspective, if you look back the histories, Buddha, he himself, made a throne and sat on it, and he has given his teaching, which is called on the topic of the perfection of the wisdoms, So, so that means, Buddha has given a tremendous respect towards the teaching that he is going to teach, Similarly, uh, uh, there is also, after Buddha passed away as a parinirvana, all the Buddhist teaching was compiled, and uh, Buddhist teaching was, Buddhist teaching were compiled by Arhat and other followers of the Buddha. Uh, 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 and when they gathered, all the member of the congregations, they uh, they remove their own yellow robes and they stack them up and they have made a throne, and they ask the person who was supervising to compile the teaching, should sit on the throne and compile the teaching, So that kind of things, shows a great respect to the teaching of Dharma, you know, like that. So uh, when I uh, uh, talk about the good teachers, teacher is so crucial to the students in order to have a successful and effective relationship between the teacher and students. So therefore, we need to focus on the qualification of teachers. When I speak about the qualification of teachers, it has described 10 different types of qualification from the Mahayana teachings. So these 10 different qualifications, and they are regarded for the spiritual master, but uh, it is not required for the science teacher and other subject teachers. But if you look at the most of uh, these 10 qualification, they are still relevant to the other subjects. So that's why I am going to explain one by one all these 10 qualification. The first is teacher should be a discipline. That means teacher must have a practice of ethics. This is the first qualification. Then second is teacher should be a calm. Calm means teacher uh, must have a training, like if teacher must have calm their mind based on the practice of concentration and meditations. And third is the uh, teacher should be thoroughly pacified. That means, teacher must have a training of wisdom. And the fourth is, teacher must have uh, 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 like a greater knowledge than the students, whatever the teaching that he's going to teach. And the fifth one is teacher must be energetic and enthusiasm. And the sixth one is, teacher, uh, mm, our teacher must be like teacher must have a vast resources that when teacher uh, teach to the student, they can when teacher asks student to do a research, they can refer good citations, they can refer uh, uh, like good primary source and secondary source, like that. Then another thing, the seventh one is a teacher must have the realization of emptiness. So this point, I think actually it is nothing to do with the science teacher and others subject teachers. And the eighth one is teacher must have a good eloquence and skillful. Uh, Eloquence here, it means that some teachers, whatever the language that they are using in the classroom, they should be a very fluent, and very precisely whatever they are talking to the students, like that. And also skillful is very important. And the ninth one is the teacher must be a compassionate and kindness. And the 10th one is a teacher must have a resilience to maintain their enthusiasm. Sometimes students approach to the teachers, uh, some student, they approach to the student to the teacher again and again, and teacher feel discouraged and they feel frustration, like that. So this is not nice. So these are the 10 qualities. if teacher, uh, if teachers who do not have all these 10 qualifications, and according to the Tibetan Buddhist scholars, they have uh, emphasizes that if teacher they do not have all these 10 qualities, they must have at least three qualities. The three qualities are Ke Tsun Sang. Keba means academic excellence, Tsumba means moral integrity, and Sangba means kindness. If you have these three qualities, then you are regarded as a good teachers. So, as a students, we must check the persons, uh, in order to seek a good teacher, So in order to examine the teacher, we must focus on their own, inner qualities. I have noticed that, if you look at the Tibetan community, Tibetan people, they have a great devotions and great faith, but their knowledge of Dharma is very weak. So there is no equal there. Their knowledge of Dharma and their devotion is imbalanced. So therefore, out of their faith, they have their own criteria how to judge the teachers. They are mainly focusing on the external, manifestations, external and external conditions. Uh, they say, they have a tendency that, those people like those Lama and Rinpoche, like that, those who have like a large number of followers, those who have a good reputation, those who have uh, like a big bungalow, and those who have a luxury car. So they just follow, to this kind of, people, this kind of teachers like that, So they are not checking their inner qualities, and sooner or later, they are going to encounter a serious problem with their teacher, and they started to criticize each other. That is not nice, Uh, so this kind of like disease, or like this kind of tendency, it is already infected to the Western Buddhist followers. And also now recently, many of Indian, they have started to, pay attention and interest towards the Buddhist practice of Dharma. Now, Indian are also, doing the same thing, whatever the Western and Tibetan, they do, Tibetan do like that. And then, if I share you a story, one time, one time a Tibetan fellow, he heard about the Milarepa. So Milarepa, who was a great Tibetan master and who used to be a crown of meditators in Tibet. So he heard a great reputations of Milarepa. Then he wanted to visit him. Then one day he went to meet the Milarepa. Then he returned to his home. Then he spoke with other people. Then he said, Milarepa is nothing, he's just a skinny beggar and pathetic, like that, So uh, uh, we are not, looking at the inner qualities, we are just focusing, we are just uh, speaking about the external manifestation, that's all. So if you really want to search a good teacher, you have to, focus on their, inner qualities. This is what I wanted to say. That's all. Thank you.